You ever hear a sound that stops your heart cold? That's what it was like when I heard my daughter, Emma, screaming for help, her voice slicing through the quiet morning. I ran outside, coffee mug still in hand, and saw our therapy horse, Thunder, bleeding in the dirt. Standing over him was Cynthia, our HOA president, all prim in her starched blouse and gold earrings, clutching a braided whip. She raised it high, bringing it down on Thunder, the one creature who'd brought Emma back from the edge after her mom's death. That's where this story begins, a single, awful moment that pushed me to the brink and set off a chain of events nobody saw coming. We lived in Sunset Grove, a suburb that promised peace but delivered a tangle of HOA rules and sky-high fees. The Sunset was just a dried-up pond, and the Grove was rows of cookie-cutter houses. Emma was 12, still reeling from losing her mom in a car crash 3 years earlier. Thunder, a gentle Appaloosa with spots like a starry sky, was her lifeline. He helped her smile again, helped her sleep without nightmares. Her counselor had him certified as a therapy animal, legal and proper, but Cynthia didn't care. To her, Thunder was a rule-breaking beast, and she was hell-bent on making us pay. It started small. Cynthia would show up at our fence, lips pursed, griping about livestock in the neighborhood. I'd explain Thunder's role, show her the paperwork, but she'd just smirk and scribble notes. I tried to keep the peace-fixed fences, planted flowers to mask any horse smell, even built a small paddock to keep Thunder out of sight. But Cynthia was relentless. She'd complain about hoofbeats at dawn, Emma's laughter, even a stray dropping near a hedge. Once she slapped a compliance fee on us, some absurd amount for unapproved animals. Emma overheard, her eyes wide with fear, asking if we'd lose Thunder. I promised her we wouldn't, but that promise kept me up at night. Cynthia's cronies didn't help. Her sidekick, Derek, was always there with his phone, filming like he was making a documentary. 2 weeks before everything exploded, Cynthia banged on my door, while VYing a binder and threatening fines if Thunder wasn't gone in 10 days. I bluffed about VYing a lawyer, but she just adjusted her earrings and whispered, "Rules apply to everyone, dear." Emma cried that night, clutching Thunder's halter. I called the HOA office, but they said Cynthia ran the show. One guy admitted her tactics were shady, but offered no help. Meanwhile, I caught her snapping photos of Thunder, pointing at Emma while Derek recorded. It felt like a hunt. The tension grew heavy. Emma had nightmares of Cynthia poisoning Thunder or cutting the fence. I checked the paddock at midnight, flashlight in hand, half expecting sabotage. Then came the yellow notice stapled to our gate. 72 hours to remove farm animals or face penalties. Emma tore it down, her face red with anger. I marched to Cynthia's house, her perfect lawn reeking of chemicals, her fountains gurgling like a bad sitcom. I demanded she stop. She threatened to call the cops for trespassing, her smile cold as she said, "You don't get to decide." I should have known it was building to something ugly. That morning, I was drafting a letter to a friend who knew someone in local government, hoping for help. Emma was out brushing Thunder, her routine since sunrise. Then her scream shattered everything. I sprinted outside, heart hammering, and saw Cynthia inside our paddock, her hair pinned back, white slacks pristine. She held a riding crop, her face twisted with glee. Thunder reared, eyes wild, as she struck his side, blood streaking his coat. Emma was on the ground, clutching her wrist, sobbing, "You can't do this." Derek stood by, filming, grinning like it was entertainment. I vaulted the gate, checked Emma's arm. She said Cynthia pushed her, then faced that woman. She hit Thunder again, calling him a danger. Rage burned through me, but I didn't touch her. I yanked the crop from her hand and threw it down. Derek yelled about assault, but I ignored him, focused on Emma's tears and Thunder's wounds. Cynthia spat, "You don't belong here. This is a circus." Emma curled against Thunder's leg, trembling. That's when something snapped in me. I tried reasoning, tried complying. None of it mattered. Cynthia thrived on cruelty. I put a hand on Thunder's neck. He shuddered but knew me. Derek's phone was still rolling, Cynthia pointing, threatening police. I leaned close to Thunder's ear and whispered one word of command we'd trained for emergencies. to protect Emma if danger came. Thunder's ears pinned back, his body tensing. Cynthia laughed, thinking it was a bluff. Then Thunder stomped the ground, shaking. She froze, confusion in her eyes. In a flash, he lunged not to trample, but to shove her back. He reared, hooves inches from her face. She screamed, stumbling into the fence, her slacks ruined, dirt in her hair. Fear replaced her smugness. I scooped Emma up, getting her safely outside the paddock. Cynthia was on all fours, spitting grass, as Derek fumbled his phone. Neighbors gathered, some filming, others whispering. Cynthia shrieked that I'd lose everything, that the HOA would ruin me. Thunder snorted, pivoting, forcing her to cower. Emma's voice cut through. She whipped Thunder. She hurt me first. Those words, raw and true, hit harder than any shout. Derek lowered his phone, maybe realizing their footage showed too much. By noon, the neighborhood was buzzing. An unedited video, shot by a neighbor, went viral, showing Cynthia's whip and Emma's fall. Strangers online called her a monster, demanding justice. Thunder's vet cleaned his wounds, prescribing antibiotics. Emma slept on the couch, clutching his halter, too scared for her room. Cynthia called an emergency HOA meeting to label Thunder a menace, but the tide was turning. Neighbors shared stories of her bullying fines for lawn ornaments, threats over paint colors. The police came, not for me, but for her, investigating trespassing and animal cruelty. Cynthia's lies unraveled. She claimed Thunder attacked unprovoked, but the footage and witness statements buried her. The HOA board distanced itself, forcing her to step down. A lawyer offered to represent us pro bono, saying we had a slam-dunk case. The city council stripped the HOA of some powers, halting Cynthia's fines. In court, the judge watched the video, heard Emma's tearful testimony, and ruled fast. Guilty of animal cruelty and assault. Cynthia got probation, heavy fines, and mandatory anger management. Her name was erased from HOA records, her power gone. The neighborhood changed. New HOA leaders cut fines, rewrote rules, and apologized to Emma and me. Emma's counselor confirmed Thunder's role, and Emma started smiling again, hugging his neck. She worked with a local group to host a therapy animal event, drawing families who saw hope in Thunder's calm eyes. A year later, a charity honored Emma for her courage, her voice steady as she thanked supporters, Thunder gleaming beside her. Cynthia vanished, rumors saying she moved away, maybe to terrorize another HOA. We rebuilt new fence, fresh barn paint, Thunder's scars fading. That single command I gave him, trained to shield Emma, unleashed a primal force. It wasn't just revenge, it was justice. The community rallied, kids sent cards, neighbors waved as Emma rode Thunder. Sunset Grove woke up, no longer cowed by fear. Looking back, I don't regret it. Not the command, not Thunder's charge. Cynthia chose cruelty, and we chose to fight. If she'd shown respect, we could have talked. Instead, she met the consequences of her own venom. That day in the paddock wasn't just our story, it was a wake-up call. Bullies thrive on silence, but one stand can break them. So what do you think? Was I right to let Thunder defend Emma? Or should I have held back? Would you have given that command, knowing the chaos it'd unleash? And what about Cynthia? Did she deserve her downfall? Or was she just a product of too much power? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if this story fired you up, and subscribe for more tales of standing up to the Karens of the world. Let's keep this conversation going.